wanna fuck, coming late, mine. Smashing on the cup, on the floor, done. What?
What's good, gang? It's Unsolid. I'm back on the video. You're not changing. You're stalling. I think a lot of times when we go through these events in our lives that we think finally require us to change, we decide to finally ditch this identity that we've been holding on to for so long. It could be a breakup, a loss of a family member, maybe a change of location, something most of the time that is so heavy we know that the old version of us can't handle the weight of what is to come or what is happening in that moment. And I think, funny enough, even when that change is required, we still leech onto this old identity of ourselves that we think is somehow still eligible to deal with this issue, these things that are coming about in this change that we now know has to also match our change. Like we know we have to match it. We know we have to get up to the standard. And I think I can say for myself as well, is like you're not changing though, you're stalling. You're stalling. You're waiting for an excuse to relive the cycle of the old identity. For example, you might start 75 hard, but that's just a numerical scale that somehow is grading your change. If you hit all 75 days, then you're just different now, right? No. You might Google how many days does it take to include a new habit. I've done that 100%. I definitely have. I ain't got no shame in the game. I've definitely looked it up. Trying to find all these measurements for when you might find a marker of change in your life. Maybe, okay, if I do this many days, then that means I'm finally getting rid of the old version of me. Oh, I've done this many times, that means I finally stopped. But then what happens when that bait gets thrown out there? You might get that text, you might see that person, you might get that call, you might get that urge. You might slip back into it just to see if you're still capable of dealing with it without leeching onto it. Well, I don't have to get rid of it, right? I don't have to get rid of them. I don't have to stop doing it. All these excuses to just relive the same cycles. It's stalling. Every push-up, every time you go lift and you think you're hitting the gym hard and you're posting it or whatever you're doing to satisfy your ego at the time, right? You're trying to convince yourself that you're changing and the change is working. But then you're stalling still. You're still like waiting for these clarifications from the external world that you're actually changing. It's stalling. But these external validations are never going to come. And even if they do, they come at a cost. They come at a cost of you really believing that your identity was already real before it even came. Why would you need that to prove to you that you are who you are? Just live. You have nothing to prove inherently. By definition, you don't. Just live. Why are you waiting for this clarification? Just live. I think in the midst of this stalling and reliving these cycles, we don't realize what we're doing. We don't realize that we're reliving the same cycle. Oh, my feelings are oh so hurt. Let me go get in the gym. But then it starts to fizzle out. You might wake up late one day. Oh, I'll hit the gym tomorrow. But then tomorrow comes next week. And the next week comes next month. And the next month comes next year. And then boom, something happens again and now you're back in the gym, right? The stalling. Just stalling. You're just stalling. And it's cool to stall. If you can't handle the heat, it's cool. And whatever pressure point I just hit that made you that mad, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. You got mad, ain't it? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And don't get me wrong, I'm just like you. So before you go ahead and become a keyboard warrior and go ahead and eviscerate me in the comments, give me a second. I'm just like you. I've stalled too. Hell, I've been stalling for years. You know how long I've been stalling on doing this? I've been stalling for years about putting my face on the camera and finally talking. I had to make all these excuses to finally do it. Stalling. BSing. Let me not even try to censor it. Bullshitting. You're just stalling, bro. And I think the reason why is because you're so afraid of what it will require for you to actually change. You realize that old identity, that old version of you is not eligible to deal with the new boundaries and the new the new requirements it would mean for you to become you. The old you wouldn't be able to handle this heat. The old you wouldn't be able to deal with all this traction, all this friction. The old you wouldn't be able to stay this consistent, and you know that. So you start to stall. You start to fall off. You start to put off the workout. You start to change the diet a little bit. You start to stay up a little later. You start to wake up a little Wake up a little earlier just so you can, like, you just start trying to find all these excuses to keep that old identity alive, because that old identity, those urges, that subconscious voice you're hearing, you know you're dying. Die. Let it happen. You know you're dying. It knows it's going. You know you're dying. The old you knows they're dying. It's scared of death. It's scared of discontinuity. It does not want to end. The old you doesn't want to go nowhere. It's become comfortable. It's become complacent in the void of your consciousness. It knows its own patterns. It knows your patterns. It knows what you're going to do for it to survive. Now that you're taking away its food source, it's getting a little like, hold on now. I ain't ate in a couple weeks. What's going on? Here, let me swing this thought this way so you can go ahead and give me what I want. And you going to fall right back into it because you that easy. You that easy. You that easy? You going to let all this hard work send you right back to stalling again? And you might stall for a couple weeks. You might stall for a couple days. You might stall for a couple hours. But stalling is stalling nonetheless. The duration of time don't change that it's stalling. It doesn't. I encourage you to stop stalling, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, don't get me wrong. Change is a very hard thing. It's not easy to change something that's been this consistent for this long. This identity might have been alive for 6 years, 20 years, who knows? But nonetheless, if you want to change. Stop stalling, bro. Stop giving yourself all these excuses to sit in this bubble that you think is safety, that you think is comfortability. Really, it's complacency. It's preventing your growth. You're shrinking more than you're changing. You're stagnating more than you're moving. Like, you're stuck. You can't change this one bad habit and you wonder why you're stuck. You can't change the way you think about yourself, but you wonder why you're stuck. Just stop, bro. Change it. Do it. Have the audacity to stand on that decision, even if those voices come up. Stand on it. You have to. Because at the end of the day, nobody else is going to hold you more accountable than yourself. You know how that feels. When you said you were going to do something and you don't do it, and the end of the day comes, you laying your head in your pillow, and that thought whizzes by your mind that you ain't do what you were supposed to do, and that gut, that feeling hit your gut. You know you sick. Deep down, you know you sick about it, but you going to, I'm going to hold it off until tomorrow, knowing damn well you're not going to do it. Let's keep the buck. You know damn well you're not going to do it tomorrow. You know you're not. You know you're not about it. So you just keep telling yourself that same trope, that same story. Well, I'll do it when this comes around, or I'll do it when I get this, or when this comes in, I'll do it. Stop making excuses, bro. I believe in you personally. And the reason why is because I read a lot of my comments. I do. And I believe even the ones that don't agree with me, even the people that don't agree with anything I say, even the people that say crazy, like, I believe in every single one of y'all. We gang. We a family. And I'm here to hold you accountable because I know you will hold me accountable. I am not an exception because you see me on the screen or you hear my voice and I can't talk to you in real time. I'm not an exception to criticism. I'm just some black kid with a lot of free time and a lot of ambition. I'm not really nobody special. I'm just like you. We in this together, bro. Stop stalling. But hey, look, that's just me though.